Open your notes titled 1.6a Linear Key Features, and these are the notes that you need to write in. I noticed that this set of notes didn't have a title. You need to type in or write in the title, examples and vocabulary of linear functions. And so we come to our first example of a linear function. Is a linear function because it makes a line. And please notice that this line has a positive slope because it is increasing everywhere. As you go across the graph from left to right, this line increases. There are two key points marked on this line, and so this line is, let's see, I'm going to go with pink. This point right here is where the graph crosses the y-axis, so this point right here is called the y-intercept. And this point right here is where the graph crosses the x-axis, and so this is called the x-intercept right there. Now this point also has another name. We'll get to that in a minute. This x-intercept right here, we are going to write the x-intercept in terms of a point, and the point will be a number, and then on the x-axis the y value will be 0. The y-intercept is on the y-axis, so it will have the form of 0 and a number, and we're going to write that in point form. As you can see down here on this next line, this has a negative slope because the line is going down as you cross the graph from x to right. This graph also has the x-intercept marked on it, and it also has the y-intercept marked on it. Space. And so the x-intercept is right there because that's where the line crosses the x-axis, and the y-intercept is right there because that's where it crosses the y-axis. Now you've got all this blank space in here, so we're going to use it right now, and we are going to draw a line like this. If we have a line like this, what is the slope of this line right here? I'm putting arrows on the end because the line goes on and on forever. This is a horizontal line, so its slope we represent with the letter M, and its slope is 0. If it was on a graph, it is going horizontally, so it would have no x-intercept unless it happened to be right on top of the x-axis, and then it would have intercepts everywhere. Let's see, find another little blank space over here. And so also we want to add to our notes a line that goes like this. And so it has arrows on the end. And if it is a vertical line, the slope is undefined. If it's going up and down vertically, it has no y-intercept unless it just happened to be on the y-axis, and then it would have the y-intercepts everywhere, and it would have an equation of the form y equals, nope, it has no y-intercept. It's going to cross the x-axis. X equals a number, and that number would be whatever the x-intercept is. Let's get back down here to the other one and add that in here. This line right here is going to have an equation. It's going to cross the y-axis, so it would have the equation y equals a number, and that number would be the y-intercept number. Okay, let's go on down and get some examples. So, this point right here is the y-intercept, and so the equation for the y-intercept is going to be 0, comma, that looks like a 1 on this graph. The x-intercept is going to be right here, and so the x-intercept is going to be And so now we need to talk about the word 0. So right here is the 0. Come on, I told you to. Okay, so get my pencil. Right here is the 0. But I thought that was the x-intercept. The 0 and the x-intercept are the same number. They're just written in different forms. X equals 1 is the 0. The x-intercept has a 1 in it, and the 0 has a 1 in it. It's the same number, it's just written in two different forms depending on what you are looking for. Okay, the slope. The slope is rise over run. The slope would be 1 over 1. Rise up 1, go over 1, and so the slope is positive 1. Okay, let's see what we have on this line. This line has a y-intercept right here. Please notice that this graph counts by 2's. So halfway in between 4 and 6, the y-intercept will be 5. In point form, it is 0, 5. The x-intercept would be right here. And so halfway in between there, it is also going to be, oh, it's not going to be 5, it's going to be negative 5. The 0 is going to be the same number. It's just going to be with an x equals, because that's what x equals on the y-axis. Get back down here where you're supposed to be. Okay, let's talk about the slope. The slope is rise over run. Since this counts up by 2's, this rise is going to be 5 and the run is going to be 5. So the slope is going to be 5 over 5. The line is going up, so it's going to be positive. 5 divided by, you always reduce fractions to lowest terms. 5 will divide into 5 one time. So the slope is equal to positive 1. Okay, here's the y-intercept on this graph. So the y-intercept is going to be 0, 7. Here's the x-intercept. So the x-intercept is going to be at 5. The 0 is the same number as the x-intercept. It's just written in a different form. Okay, slope is, try to draw that straight. Slope is rise over, oops, need to write this up a little bit, over run. So this is going to go up one, oops. This is going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the slope is going to be rise over run. The line is going down, so the slope is going to be negative 7 over 5. Oh, interesting line. Right here is our y-intercept, and so our y-intercept is, no, our y-intercept is at 0, 3. This is the y number, so it has to come second. Does this cross the x-axis? Does it have an x-intercept? If it has no intercept, it has no 0. Does it have a slope? The slope of a horizontal line, it's on our first page. Slope. Please make sure you have all of your notes filled in correctly for today. Thank you.